By the time you turn 35, approximately 95% of who you are has already been written into you, not by choice, but by repetition. A memorized library of behaviors, emotional reflexes, unconscious patterns, hardwired assumptions, and deeply embedded beliefs, all running silently beneath your awareness like the operating system of a machine. And here's the unsettling truth. Most people never even know the program exists. Your conscious mind, that 5% of you that sets goals, makes promises, envisions a better life, is shouting into a storm. I want to be healthy. I want to be free. I want to change. But the body is running ancient code. And ancient code doesn't care about your ambitions. Think about what you do the moment you wake up. You reach for your phone, you scroll, you check messages, notifications, headlines, anything that tethers you back to the familiar world you already know. Then you rise from the same side of the bed, pour the same cup of coffee, drive the same route, encounter the same people, react to the same triggers, and somehow wonder why your life feels like it's on repeat. That's not laziness, that's not weakness. That's a program running on autopilot, and you have surrendered your freedom to it without ever signing the consent form. Here is the paradox at the heart of human transformation. The very system designed to make your life efficient is the same system that makes genuine change feel impossible. The repetition that builds competence also builds a cage, and most people only rattle the bars of that cage when something catastrophic forces them to. A diagnosis, a loss, a collapse, a crisis so severe that staying the same becomes more terrifying than changing. But why wait for the earthquake? Why wait for the devastation to begin the excavation? Here is what the science tells us, and it is extraordinary. You can rewire yourself in a state of inspiration just as powerfully as you can in a state of suffering. The mechanism doesn't care about the catalyst. What it cares about is intensity and repetition. People are awakening to this truth right now. The question is whether you will be among them. If you are not being shaped by a vision of who you intend to become, then by default you are being shaped by the residue of who you have been. Your past becomes your prison sentence. Not because the past is inescapable, but because you keep returning to it as though it were a compass. It isn't. It's a rear-view mirror, and you cannot navigate toward a new horizon while staring backward. Consider how thought and emotion collaborate to generate your entire state of being. Every morning, most people wake up and immediately begin rehearsing their problems. And those problems are not just abstract concerns. They are neural circuits, electrochemical pathways etched into the architecture of the brain, each one connected to specific people, specific places, specific moments in time. The brain, functioning as a record of the past, immediately begins playing yesterday's soundtrack, and each memory carries with it an emotional payload, because emotions are the residue of experience. They are what gets left behind after the experience ends. So the moment you begin recalling what troubles you, your body begins feeling the weight of it. Sadness, anxiety, resentment. And now your entire state of being, how you think, how you feel, how you move through the world, is anchored in a moment that no longer exists. What does that produce? A future that looks exactly like the past. Not because fate demanded it, but because you generated it. Thought by thought, feeling by feeling, choice by choice. Here is where the real mind hacking begins. You think somewhere between 60 and 70,000 thoughts per day. Neuroscience confirms this. What's more striking is that roughly 90% of those thoughts are identical to the ones you had yesterday, and the day before, and the week before. Follow the chain. The same thought produces the same choice. The same choice produces the same behavior. The same behavior generates the same experience. The same experience produces the same emotion. and that emotion loops back and seeds the same thought, completing the cycle, beginning again. A habit is not simply a repeated behavior. A habit is a redundant constellation of automatic thoughts, emotional states, and physical responses. A self-reinforcing loop that has been running so long it no longer requires your conscious participation. It runs for you while you watch. And the hormones of stress, cortisol, adrenaline, the full chemistry of emergency, actively suppress the genetic expression responsible for restoration, healing, and growth. Living in a chronic state of internal emergency is not just psychologically exhausting, it is biologically destructive. It literally rewrites your body at the molecular level.